Kakbhushundi arrived under the banyan tree and greeted his audience with a gentle nod. Then, closing his eyes, he mentally invoked Sri Ram before beginning his story. Raja Dashrath was the king of Ayodhya. Many illustrious kings had ruled over this great and flourishing kingdom, but Raja Dashrath was specially renowned. Not only was he a treasure trove of virtue, but he was also the greatest upholder of dharma, and his heart was filled with devotion for Lord Vishnu. Of his many queens, 3 were very famous. They were Kausalya, Sumitra, and Kaikai. All 3 loved their husband very much. The people of Ayodhya were happy and prosperous. The king, however, had just one great sorrow. He had no son who would succeed to the throne after him. Kakbhushundi looked piercingly at the audience and said, "In everyone's life there is something that is lacking. No one has total happiness and fulfillment. And do you know why?" The birds looked at each other and clicked their beaks. Thank heavens, Kakbhushundi was there to tell them. "Well," said Kakbhushundi, "it is said that when Bhagwan created the world, one individual remarked that such a beautiful creation would only bewitch people and keep them mired in it. How then would people break free of this attraction for the world and return to Bhagwan?" And Bhagwan replied that he had purposely ensured some shortcoming in everyone's life. The only one who is complete is Bhagwan himself. That is why whatever is lacking in our life must be filled with Bhagwan, for only then can we too hope to find fulfillment. Then, continuing with his story, Kakbhushundi said, Raja Dashrath confided his longing for a son to his guru Rishi Vashisht. The compassionate guru blessed the king and assured him that he would have not 1 but 4 sons. And best of all, Bhagwan himself would take avatar and be born as his son. At this point, one pensive pigeon had a doubt. Why did Bhagwan choose to be born as Raja Dashrath's son? She asked. Kakbhushundi replied, Bhagwan chose Raja Dashrath and Queen Kausalya as his parents because in 2 earlier lives they had done great tapas to have a son like Bhagwan. In those earlier lives, they had been Rishi Kashyap and his wife Aditi, and also Swayambhuva Manu and his wife Shatarupa. Now, having a son like Bhagwan was impossible because there is no one like him. So Bhagwan decided that he himself would come as their son in answer to their prayers. Another reason for the avatar was because adharma had become rampant and Bhagwan wanted to teach dharma to mankind. And that dharma includes showing human beings how to treat us, birds and animals, as their younger brothers and sisters. A third reason for the avatar was because of the fervent prayer of Devtas, Munis, Rishis and Prithvi Devi or Mother Earth. You see, Ravan, the Rakshas king of Lanka, had become very powerful and proud. Thanks to a boon from Lord Brahma, none of the Devtas or other celestial beings could defeat him. Ravan had actually wanted the boon of deathlessness, But that had not been in Lord Brahma's power to give. So Ravan had accepted that the only ones capable of killing him would be men and monkeys. Arrogant as he was, he felt that if the Devtas had no power over him, there was nothing to fear from mere men and monkeys. So in answer to the prayer of the afflicted Devtas and Prithvi Devi, Bhagwan agreed to assume the form of man and put an end to their woes. So for all these reasons, Bhagwan promised the Devtas that he would come as a king of the solar dynasty along with his partial manifestations. In other words, Sri Ram is the main avatar, but Bharat, Lakshman and Shatrughan are also partial manifestations of the Supreme. Now, if the Lord took avatar, then his Shakti or divine creative power called Maya, through which he manifests the world, would also take avatar alongside him. When the Devtas heard this, they thought that if the Supreme Lord was going to take the form of man, they too needed to appear on earth to serve him. So they decided to assume a form that was a rung lower. They decided that they would come as monkeys. It is not as though the Devtas themselves became monkeys. No. From their divine luster, they created numerous monkeys, all of whom manifested in the region called Kishkindha, in the area of modern-day Karnataka. There they awaited the great moment when Bhagwan would appear in the form of a man. Kakbhushudi paused for a few moments and then asked a very pertinent question. We always want to know why Bhagwan takes avatar. But have we ever asked ourselves, why have I taken birth? What is the purpose of my life? There was a hushed silence. No one had ever thought of that. The purpose of our life, said Kakbhushundi slowly, is to love Bhagwan and to serve him. And by extension, that means we should love and selflessly serve the world with its varied beings, its forests, mountains, and water bodies, all of which are his divine creations. But now darkness was descending, and on that thought-provoking point, the story session came to a close. The birds bowed down to Kakbhushundi and flew off in a very reflective mood.